You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein here across the Rainbow Bridge and into your homes. With me, as always, is...
Thor.
Thor. You're not Thor. You're Josh Schaefer.
Thor. Meet Thor.
It's the Bifrost. That's what the Rainbow Bridge is called.
Yeah, the Bifrost.
I got into the intro like, I'm going to say the Rainbow Bridge. What's the name of the... Fuck it, it's Rainbow Bridge.
Rainbow Bridge is something different.
Is it?
Isn't that what people say when their animal or pets die?
I thought they just went to a
bridge.
farm. What the fuck Indiana idiom are you listening to?
Y'all good over
What
there?
happened to our dog? It died. Move on, child.
It went across the Rainbow Bridge. I feel like that is not just an
God.
Indiana thing.
I've never heard that before.
Well, in the Yeehaw state.
You know what? I'm from the South, technically, and I have not heard that before. Anyway, we are talking about Thor, despite everything else we've just talked about right there. Specifically because Thor Love and Thunder has been out for, even on streamers, for at least a month.
Yeah.
It's been out for like 3 or something. I don't know.
Feels like it's been out for a while.
Yeah, but we saw it last month, and we're finally now getting around to podcasting about it because we're slow at this. And it's a weekly podcast. There's always so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So Thor 4, Love and Thunder, when it came
rhymed.
out... Huh?
Thor 4.
The 4.
The Thor.
Yeah.
Thor 4, it's sore.
Ooh, that's a lot of sex right there, and I'm in.
Have you not seen Love and Thunder?
Right.
It's the love part of Love and Thunder.
Man, that hammer got places it shouldn't have been. But the 4, when it came out, it got a lot of hate online from critics.
Yep.
And the thing is, I don't feel like the critics got it right this time. I am one of the critics, and I disagreed with the other critics.
Yeah, well, like when I read it, I was like, man, this movie's going to suck. That doesn't sound right. It looks cool, but I enjoyed it.
They said it was disjointed, wasn't very funny. There's a whole list of things that was thrown against it.
I remember laughing at it and understanding the plot well enough.
Yeah. I don't know what people were expecting. Like, the reviewers were like, this is not as good as Ragnarok, making me think they were expecting Ragnarok again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it kind of was Ragnarok again?
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
Like, I like Ragnarok better, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Like, both Ragnarok and this movie were buddy team-up films. Like, Thor's Guardians of the Galaxy, basically, which is even more explicitly underlined because this film, and for those who couldn't see, I was waving my hand underlining, this film actually has him team up for a few minutes at the start with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Like, what the movie is a journey for Thor to figure out who Thor wants to be, which, frankly, I think is fair because the films have never really defined who Thor is supposed to be.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be king. That's pretty much been his entire, That's
the plot from the first movie.
Yeah. Like, after the first movie, he realized he would not make a good king. And the only reason why he's ever tried to fight anyone on the throne is because Loki's been the one trying to take the throne. Yeah. Like, as long as Loki's on the throne, Thor don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So...
Well, they're more or less democratic now.
Yeah. So if Thor is not king, who is Thor? And for 4 movies, the definition has been, we don't really know. He just kind of wanders around and does Thor-like things. So this movie was trying to determine who he's going to be moving forward. And from that perspective, through Guardians of the Galaxy, who he didn't work with very well, to Valkyrie and his lover, spoiler, Jane Foster, who he got back together with before, spoiler, she died.
It's been out for months. It's fine.
Because, spoiler, cancer. After, spoiler, becoming Thor herself. I feel like I should just say spoiler a lot.
Spoiler. Also, spoiler, she had Mjolnir, too, even though it was shattered.
Mjolnir?
Yeah. Mjolnir.
Meow meow?
Meow meow.
She had meow meow too, yeah.
Meow meow beans.
But yeah, no, it's... He finally figures out he's going to be a dad to the kid that he basically adopts at the end of the film. So the movie was figuring out his journey. And it's a journey, as you point out, that started from the first movie onwards. Now, first couple movies aren't that great, but you can watch all 4 as a through line to see where he becomes. And I like that. Yeah,
well, because he's like a cocky, arrogant asshole in the first one, and then he's like, oh, people have feelings? Oh, I have feelings? Oh, I have expectations?
Yeah.
It's pretty much like I view it as a coming-to-age tale of like a college freshman when it's like, oh, wait, these people don't give a shit about me anymore. Like, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I took my first philosophy class. You mean I'm going to die eventually? My parents are going to die too? What the hell? And it's like, and it's just he's an immortal, but it's a coming to age story more than anything else.
Yeah, but when he doesn't have the throne, and he doesn't have Asgard, he doesn't even have his hammer, who is Thor at that point?
Yeah.
So, and I think what the most important, like, the interesting thing for me is, it's not the most important point, but it's an interesting thing for me, is, like, so you look at Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's designed so that anyone can put themselves in Spider-Man's role. He wears a full-body costume, so that anyone can be Spider-Man, essentially. That's like one of the brilliances of that thing. As defined by the fact that when other Spider-Men come along, they also wear the full-body costume, and they can be anyone. They can be Miles Morales or Spider-Gwen, but they all maintain that I'm fully costumed, so anyone can imagine themselves as me.
Yeah.
Thor, in this movie, reveals that pretty much anyone can be Thor. As underlined by the big climactic fight at the end when a whole bunch of people become Thor.
Yeah.
They all temporarily have the power of Thor.
Which is pretty cool.
I loved that.
That was really cool.
That was really good.
It's making me get goosebumps. Like, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people hated that. I was like, why?
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 Like, it's even more important than the Spider-Man costume, because here, all you have to do is have willpower, essentially the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You just have to have enough willpower, strength of person, to be worthy of Thor. Like, you don't even need a costume. Anyone can be Thor, especially if you suddenly get given the power by Thor himself.
Right. Thor, bless me with your power. Let your seed rain down upon me.
Well, you took it about as sexual as I was going to there.
What? That's sexual? I don't understand.
But yeah, like, I liked all of that journey. And it's that realization that he can let go of a part of himself. He can let go of having to have Mjolnir, and that's when he finally earns Mjolnir back.
Yeah.
He can let go of being the only Thor. Jane Foster helps him on that regard, but then he gives the power freely to other people. Like, it's a huge growth movie for him.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a good capstone at the end of his journey. Like,
not that he's going to stop.
No, he's not going to stop. No. Well, because Chris Hemsworth, I always get him confused. It's just
there's too many Chris's, yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, I think, loves that role too much.
He has said he would willingly keep playing Thor for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Which, let me tell you, old man Thor, I am on board for that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And he's having fun with it now. Like, the first couple of movies were a little clunky.
And those are the ones he was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this.
But once he started doing the Avengers movies and kind of figuring out who Thor was, like, he's made it his own to the point where I can't imagine anyone else playing him. He's
made it the role such, like, his own to the point where I struggle to go back and read older comics because the character doesn't match up with his performance, which it's one of those performances that redefines so strongly that everything that came before is pointless at this point.
Yeah. Well, like, in talking about how like relatability of characters, like with Spider-Man and whatnot, like, his whole journey, I'm like, man, I remember when I got, like, fat. I mean, I'm still fat and depressed, but like, but just that, like, just playing like video games in a hut, like, with a rock dude and a bug. Like,
you've been there.
I've been there.
Yeah,
we've all been there. Like, have your giant pizza belly just like, I'm there now. Did I have pizza yesterday? No, but did I wish I did? Yes,
I did, and today.
Lucky.
Well, you order a pie, you're not going to eat the whole pie in one day. I mean, some people do, but dude, do not tempt me.
No.
I don't need those 8,000 calories in a day.
There was a meme or a TikTok I saw where it was like, if you eat 3 large cheese pizzas, it will kill you. And it's like, yes.
So 2.5 is the limit.
So there's a limit. It's like the same one where it's like a man goes blind after eating 600 chicken nuggets. It's like, so the limit's 599. Good to go.
But yeah, no, I think it's interesting, especially because of the fact that he's the first hero in the MCU that's actually gotten 4 films. 4 officially of his own. Not counting the crossovers, only of his own.
Yeah.
Like, Captain America only went 3, Iron Man only went 3. Now, they, of course, have all shown up in other people's movies, so they've gotten more.
Yeah, Spider-Man's only had 3.
Yeah, so. But he's the first to officially have gotten 4. And, like, even when we get a 4th Captain America, it's not the same Captain America.
Steve Rogers isn't going to be in it.
Exactly. So it's kind of a new trilogy with a new Captain America. So getting 2 movies is a big deal in the MCU.
Yeah.
So... But
you're right, because I'm thinking, I was like, no, Doctor Strange has had... Nope, he's had 2. But he's been in
Yeah, it's hard when they cross over with each other because some of their journey, like Thor's journey, happened in part in the fourth Avengers film.
Yeah, Spider-Man shows up in Civil War.
Yeah, so they have more movies than that. But as far as 4 titles that you can just watch on their own, Thor's the only one.
I would argue that there has not actually been a second Thor movie.
Because you didn't like it?
No, I don't remember it. Like
Dark World?
I remember going to the theater. I remember watching it. I remember looking at Josette and her being like, "This movie was ass." And I was like, "You right? It's awful." And I don't remember the bad guy. I don't remember who was in it.
The Dark Elf with Chris Eccleston?
I don't remember it.
That's fine.
Like,
okay, so there are only 2 key moments in that film that I felt were important enough to remember because it is kind of a bland film. I don't think it's as bad as the first one, but it was bland. Yeah. The sequence where Loki and him are walking down a hall in the castle, and Loki starts pretending to be other people from Thor's life so he can be in disguise. Yeah. And then they get Chris Evans back to play Captain America, and he's like a smarmy version of it. That was hilarious.
That was a good scene.
That was a hilarious scene.
Also, I was dead sure that was in the first one, but you're right.
That's in the second one.
Was in the second
and
one.
then there's a moment late where Thor goes to Jane Foster's apartment in London, and he sees the hat rack. So he hangs Mjolnir up on the hat rack. Like, it's just such a small, endearing moment that you know he improvised himself, and that was hilarious. And that's pretty much all the movie that I think you need to remember. I remember it all. I don't need to.
Man, I don't, because I don't remember with, like, I just, because I know I watched, because we started watching it, because I was like, maybe we didn't see it.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, I remember.
It's bland. Yeah. It's bland. The series picks up with the third one, that's for sure.
Well, it's because of Waititi.
I don't try to pronounce his name because I would just do it.
T-Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not T-Boy.
T-Dog.
T-Dog.
T-Skillet.
T-Skillet.
There it is.
Taika, let us know if you want to trademark that.
It's yours if you want it, T-Skillet. So
T-Skills. We can even shorten it even more.
The T-Skills that thrills.
It
writes itself.
He's one of my favorite directors. I say this almost at every podcast, I think.
Yeah, whenever he comes up, you mention him.
I can't
not. I mean, we did an outtake on What We Do in the Shadows, all because his movie is fantastic. Although he did that one with Jermaine Clement, so the two of them together.
Also, he's equally brilliant.
Yes. Anyway, it is cool to see the journey of the character, and it's the furthest journey we've actually gotten. Most of the movies don't let the characters evolve this way, and I think it's back to your point of the first 2 were so bland, the character had to evolve just to keep getting movies.
Well, because Thor's kind of a bland, not to, he's a bland character in the comics.
I mean, when you get Kenneth Branagh directing it, you're going to get bland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, but I'm trying to think, but I can't think of another character that really had any growth, because, I wanted to say Doctor Strange, but he just became an arrogant prick with magic instead of being an arrogant prick surgeon.
Well, yeah, Iron Man had growth by the end of the third film because he gave up being Iron Man and then went right back to being Iron Man, so all the growth was erased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the only thing that I think Iron Man did that was worthwhile was when he sacrificed himself. That was his growth. I'm not going to be... I'm going to live for others instead of myself now.
Hulk had growth, but it all happened off screen.
Yeah.
We jump forward 5 years, and suddenly Smart Hulk exists, and he's merged with his character, and you're like, okay, where's the TV show or movie that shows us this?
A World War Hulk TV show would be so cool.
Well, and I think they'd have to do it as a TV show because they can't do it as a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but where's, he had huge growth that we didn't see.
Because I like Smart Hulk.
Yeah. So, Thor got growth. Yeah. I really appreciated how the fourth film tied that up. Wherever they take the character from here, whether it's just in crossovers or if we get a Hulk 5, Daddy Daycare. Thor Daddy Daycare. That's a crossover we didn't need, but now I kind of want.
It's like Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which had Thor in it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what we need right there. But whatever they do next with it, I am on board.
Me too.
Especially if T-Skillet is the guy that's writing and directing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he'd say no to Disney money, though.
And it feels like there's the promise of Jane Foster returning, too, because her in The Afterlife, being welcomed in as a hero, you gotta feel like something's gonna happen there.
Well, I was more surprised because Natalie Portman said she never wanted to do another Disney movie, so I wanted to know how they got
T-Skillet
her.
talked her into it.
You think so?
Yeah. Because it was, they only used footage of her for the fourth film. So they had to use outtakes and shit for the fourth Avengers film to get her in. But the promise of her character getting to be Thor and the plot line they were writing for her that T. Skillet had in mind. God, that really is addictive just saying.
I know. Yeah. T. Skillet's a great name. Like, people would be like, why not T-Bone? No, there's enough T-Bones.
There's enough T-Bones. No, he needs his own. Yeah. It's the skillet for the T-Bone. Yeah. He's one step higher.
Yeah.
He's
he cooks
hot.
The T-Bones.
Yeah. He crackles, man.
Cast iron T-Bone.
But yeah, no, the promise of what the character would get to do was what sold her on coming back. Because, let's face it, in 2 films, she had very little to do, yeah.
She was a damsel in distress, and...
Despite her character being written as smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I know about Natalie Portman is she rightfully wants to have more equity.
She got to be a buff hero, and she enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little scared of her. She was
in
hot.
the right way.
Yeah. I mean, I like Natalie Portman. She's always been a...
You could hold my Mjolnir.
They call it the Shard of Mjolnir.
Oh, it's so sad. No, but yeah, no, I liked, I don't know what the critics were going on about. I think that's my major point.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like the Ben Stiller effect, where it's like they just hate Ben Stiller, so they're gonna...
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's just because I read it and I was expecting like Doctor Strange 2 level of disappointment.
Disjointedness.
Yeah. But
no.
Because like from when I read the reviews for Doctor Strange 2 were like, oh, this movie's so great. And I was like, really?
Doctor Strange, we talked about this before, but Doctor Strange 2 is a very disjointed mess. But the parts where the story gets out of the way and Sam Raimi can just be Sam Raimi.
It was fun.
Fucking brilliant.
Like, I didn't hate it. It was a fun movie.
Yeah. It's much more of a Sam Raimi playground than it is a cohesive superhero film.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones where I feel like it would have been better served being a TV show.
Yeah.
You get a couple episodes of plot, and then you just let Sam Raimi wander for four episodes just doing shit.
Sam Raimi,
yeah.
And Bruce Campbell's cameo was funny, too, because it kind of means that the Army of Darkness and Evil Dead movies take place in the Marvel Universe now, but... Spoilers.
But yeah, no, it's one of those ones where, again, it's back to balance.
Yeah.
Like Disney not having the balance between what should be movies and what should be TV shows and still not quite understanding that. But Thor works as a movie.
Yes.
Like, I do feel like I would have liked to have had a TV show that led up to it, of Valkyrie and Jane just being,
be cool.
like, girl bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders...
Is that the right term, girl bros? I feel like that's
girl bosses.
Like the sister, the sisterhood of the traveling Asgardian pants.
I watched that movie too. As long as America Ferrera's in it. But I think that I'm hoping that maybe Disney's problem was COVID.
Well, I'm sure COVID had a lot to do with it.
Because the newer stuff coming out post-COVID is working a little bit better. Like Andor and...
She-Hulk.
Shulk. Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, yeah.
So
it's not rushed. It's not sitting in a shelf for 2 years waiting. Yeah. It has the right time to build and just be finished.
Yeah.
Without tons of executive tinkering.
Yeah, because the more it sits on the shelf, the more the executives are like...
We could change this.
Yeah.
Black Widow, for example.
Yeah, oh. I finally made it through that movie, and I see why it's important.
Yeah.
But it's...
so bad.
It's not a good movie.
No, it would have been better as like a 15-minute addendum at the start of whatever Black Widow 2 film they did for Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that how you say her name? Pugh?
I think so.
Sorry, that's fine.
I know what they wanted to do, but it just seemed produced to hell.
It did. And it just wasn't the story she needed. She needed a spy film.
Yeah.
Thor got the right film for him. He just got 2 really dorky, over-the-top 80s day-glow movies.
Yeah.
And that works for Chris Hemsworth's version of the character.
Yeah, but they should have... Like an Andor, like Black Widow movie would have been awesome.
Would have been fantastic.
Because that's the one beef I always have. It's like, oh, we're not trying to be sexist, but what did you give... Like, Black Widow's entire purpose was to die.
Like, and here's the thing. If you wanted her to come back... and have, like, the proper version of her film, they could have set this movie after Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, have her get resurrected with the knowledge that she's there to tie up things from her past.
Yeah.
And then, like, once she does that, she will die again. Like, you could do the exact same fucking movie, but now there's stakes behind it because she has only so much time to do this exact plot line they gave her.
Yeah.
Reunite with her family, help her sister, free the other Black Widows, and then once she does that, she walks off into the sunset.
Yeah.
That would have worked better than as a prequel.
They could have introduced, like, the Marvel's it's like their hell or whatever.
Yeah.
And get, like, Ghost Rider out and what's his name? Mephisto?
Mephisto.
Mr.
Pfister.
Mr. Fister. Mr. Fister. But you know, like,
actually a character.
I know.
Yeah.
But, like, they could have done so much more with it.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like the whole movie, I was just like, why am I watching? Like,
yeah.
Like, where has it been? But I don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been so much more.
Thor. Anything else about Thor? I liked Lady Thor, which I know is rude to call her that. She's actually the mighty Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked her too.
Yeah. I want more of her. I wish they'd done a series leading up to the movie.
I thought it was real cool how they incorporated Mjolnir too. How it, like, broke apart and
the
stuff.
hammer. Oh,
yeah,
that was like that
super...
reveal was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I know that the comics spent some time with her where she was suffering from cancer, so she got a whole arc before she died.
Yep.
And it's not like I felt like her arc with Thor was rushed. I just felt like her cancer before that was rushed. Like, they just needed another movie or a TV show. Yeah. Plus, there's such good chemistry between her and Valkyrie that I wanted more of the two of them.
It was nice to see Valkyrie, too.
Yeah.
I like Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Although Men in Black International was trash.
Oh my god, that movie was so bad.
I don't know why. Every time I think of her now, I think, it's like, how did you do so bad in this movie? You guys worked in Thor together.
Well, she was there with Chris Hemsworth.
Right?
Like, it wasn't their fault. It was the movie's fault. I blame the director for not realizing the talent he had and not just letting them, like, rewrite and ad-lib their lines.
No, the whole movie was disappointing.
Just disappointing. Like, the plot was going to be bad no matter what, but they could have just let them be more comedic with it.
But to be fair, though, like, are any of the Men in Black plots solid? Like,
no, but it's
you don't
the
watch
chemistry.
it for the plot. It's the comedic. Like, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith worked really well off of each other.
Yep.
But anyway.
And it works in Thor because they characters...
Exactly.
The director, T-Skillet, let them just kind of work their magic on the characters.
Because he's a comedian himself.
Yes.
Like, he gets the process.
He does.
Anyway, this has been...
Not So Live from Asteroid G. Really hoping we get a shard of Mjolnir. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I have a shard of Mjolnir.
So you are the mighty Thor.
I'm the mighty Thor.
The mightiest Thor.
I don't know about
the
that.
mighty-ish Thor.
Mighty-ish.
Is there a middle ground? Like
the
not weak ass, but just like the middling Thor.
The middling. I like middling Thor. The apathetic Thor.
Oh.
Sounds like a Mad magazine.
Thor in a microcosm.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.